Hello and thank you for joining us today at Distracted by Life. Our podcast is all about making change within yourself and your relationships. We share conversations, stories, and explore ideas coming from our lifelong journey of the high points and especially the low points where we learn to face our fears or cope with pain, loss, and failure. We do this in a discovery quest to establish patterns around our past and understanding whether we are tripping up from our past or being held hostage by it. We work on identifying ways to move forward, aligning our core values, and unlocking the keys to self-awareness, self-acceptance, self-compassion, and letting go of what is not serving you positively in life. A better you is always there, ready to explore in a new world. So let's begin. Welcome to Distracted by Life. My name is Dan, and today's topic is titled Broken Open. It's about how difficult times can help us grow stronger, wiser, more in touch with our purpose and our passion. Amal and I will be looking back and sharing a couple of stories. I'm going there today. From our own difficult times and the personal transformation and discoveries that helped us blossom into who we were meant to be. The struggle was long, but the payoffs are fantastic. Okay, and welcoming Amal. Hi, welcome.
Hi, Dan. Glad to be here with you.
So am I. This one's going to go in pretty deep. So the topic is broken open. Difficult times in our lives. And for those out there listening, has it happened to you?
Yes, it did. Few times over.
And are you able to share your story with us? You know, how you felt, how you broke open, I guess. Something newfound truth about yourself and situation, how you blossomed?
Happy to share if you can share one as well, one of your stories with us.
Yeah, this was the part. I'm always reluctant. Okay, yes, but you go first.
Sure. So 5 years ago, something just broke inside me. I was lost. I felt sad, confused. My marriage was not in a good place, and it hasn't been for far too long. I'm not here to put blame on my spouse because there is a lot of blame to go around. However, this is where I was at. I wanted to run from everything, my obligation, my job, my spouse, myself. I was falling apart. A friend of mine suggested that I should just take time away from work and go away and just, be still with myself and get clarity and clear my mind. Maybe a relaxation, a short relaxing trip would do me good. She talked about these different retreats, and I asked around and I found this place called Grail Spring Retreat for Well-Being. I looked it up online and everything looked so promising. Well-being, relaxation, calm, yoga, spa treatment, etc. Like all the works. I have also asked some co-workers actually at work who actually swear by it. They said it's a special place and it's very, but very different. And
okay, so how different in what way? Because I'm sure everyone will want to know.
I'm glad you asked because I've never been to any of these places before. And so apparently my coworker told me that there is no TV. It's vegan food the whole time you're staying there. There is a program to follow daily starting at 8 o'clock in the morning. No alcohol, no junk food, no caffeine, no sugar, only organic, healthy vegan food. Hikes, evening classes, toxic clearing shots you take.
The cleansing shots?
Cleansing shots.
Yeah, we don't want clearing because that's a whole different topic altogether.
Yeah, okay, wrong word here. Yes, toxic clearing shots, meditation. Cleansing. Oh my God, I keep saying clearing. I don't even know why. Meditation and yoga. You drink either herbal tea or lemon water, and snacks are like kind of a piece of fruit, either an apple or a banana, something like that, or the shot, that and that cleansing toxic shots out of, they look weird in color, like really weird kind of
For
look.
the record, this place had absolutely everything. 100% of all the things I did not want
Me
to
too.
have.
Like completely, it felt very restrictive actually. And I was concerned. And I said,
vegan. I need to eat something that eats other things.
and not just that. It's the no alcohol, okay, so I could do
Yes.
with no alcohol, but my issue was the coffee. And I was,
I'm Italian. We have to have wine.
how do you wake up in the
caffeine.
morning without like no coffee? Just didn't work for me. However, the whole thing was about you getting rid of the toxic out of your body. That
That's
was
true.
the whole
That is true.
experience, because it was few days of you completely getting detoxing, and then that helps with the clearing of the mind. I couldn't connect the two, and
Okay,
I was getting
ultimately,
nervous.
yes, it did help. But at the time, oh my God.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
So anyway, coming back to my story, I wanted to go alone, but my husband insists that we are not good apart and we are better to stay close and work this out.
Well,
I needed-
let's just say we were going through some issues.
Yes.
And I had a gut feeling that probably best that we try to work it out together rather than go our separate ways and try to work it out.
Yes. And I needed the space to be alone, but we agreed it would be good for both of us to go. So we did not know what to expect. I ended up booking a bunch of spa treatments for the relaxation, for both of us. During that time, my husband has lost his job where we were struggling
Oh, yeah.
financially, right?
That sucked.
Honestly, we had no business taking this trip.
Nope.
But I was running. I felt I could not breathe. I felt choked up, and I needed to go to a place where I can feel myself again and get some clarity. Like I guess I was searching for that zen.
The Zen?
The zen. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, and I didn't know what that felt like, so I can't really describe it. I know I was missing something, and I'm searching for it, and I needed it. I just didn't know what that looked like. Everything was basically put on a credit card, and we went. What happened next was nothing I could have expected. So, one of the treatment I booked was called Scared Journey of the Heart.
Sacred journey.
The sacred journey of the heart.
Yeah.
This was done with Reiki, and apparently
Reiki.
Reiki, and
Call it Reiki, I guess.
I guess.
Sorry.
Thank you for correcting my grammar and vocabulary.
Reiki.
Yeah, well, just remember, English is not my first language, so I'm doing a hell a lot of good than a
No, you're doing
lot of bad.
fantastic. No, don't worry about
And
that. You're doing
apparently, the benefits are of our emotional healing and energy balancing when you do that treatment. So I'm like, okay, that sounds really, really cool. But I was like skeptical. Really? Put a lot into this? Okay, let's see. Here's where things got real for me. So basically, it's the experience is there is this like huge, you go into this room, it's a huge tub filled with, water, but the water had like this kind of color in them, whatever. It was a weird color, green. And I'm like, I'm going to get into that water. Okay. So I got into the water, and basically I was told they were, a background, very, very calming music. That the room had a very nice aroma. Can't explain, but it was kind of just, it felt really good. You get into the tub, I was told, and then I sit there for 20 minutes, something like that, or I can't remember the exact timing, but it was enough for you to kind of just chill. So I sat in the tub, whatever the time was, 20 or 30 minutes, and then, you get you put on the rope and you lay on this, bed, whatever. The person comes in and, they start the process. So that person, when they were, doing the calming oil massage thingy, she was actually asking me things about some questions. She was saying, she's sensing an energy of this and an energy of that. And I was just responding to her questions. And that led to brought up my dad, and I didn't bring it up. She actually brought it up, which I was freaked out, because apparently my energy and my thoughts were about, something unresolved, feeling about my dad and my childhood, and right away she nailed it, feeling of unworthiness. And so we talked about it, and I explained what the feeling were. And basically I had this energy that I was holding and carrying around for the longest time, for as long as I can remember from childhood, is the anger that I felt towards my dad, and the heaviness in my heart that when he passed away, this unresolved feeling that he never got to see that I'm worthy, I'm good enough, I am succeeding despite what he said about me or thought of me. And the fact that I wished him to be dead, and it did come true, which I lived for the longest time, is that I took that burden on, is that, oh my God, I wished for my dad to die, and he did. And I thought that God kind of answered my prayers, and I felt guilty about that, and awful. And I wouldn't tell this to anyone, because how bad I was. I wished my own father to die, and he did, and it came true, and I can't talk about it. I can't tell my mother it's all my fault. It's my fault he died, because I prayed for him to die and God answered. That was a huge moment for me. It really did broke me open.
Well, I think it's worse that nobody was around to tell you that that's not true.
Yes, but I never told anybody, because...
Well, you couldn't. Not the culture you grew up with.
No.
There's no way you could have voiced any sort of...
How do I tell my mother that I used to kneel and pray every day for him to die, because he hurt us and he hurt her and he hurts me, and I hated him?
Well, even just to say that you think it's your fault, you didn't...
And then when he got really ill and it came true...
Well, it didn't come true.
At that time, I was a child.
Yes.
All I could think of, God answered my prayers. Oh my God, it came true. It's my fault. That's all I had, the mindset that I had.
Yep.
And what the anger and the resentment, because after he passed away, what he left behind was a broken person, a child who had to live a life of feeling unworthy and ugly and not good enough, and trying to overcome that, because and pushing through, you're not gonna succeed, you know you're the loser and things like that. That's a lot of kind of emotional abuse that I carried on. I lived that shoes, and I literally it came a self-fulfilling prophecy, because I settled when I finished high school. After a long struggle, I settled. I didn't take a university degree, because the truth is there were two reasons. A, I thought I'm not smart enough to actually take a university program. I'm not going to make it. And B, it costs a lot of money I don't have. And so I settled. And so there are other scenarios, but the experience itself, it kind of, she nailed it. She literally called out the unworthiness feeling. And this somehow, believe it or not, I know it's going to sound strange, but I felt lightness, and a light came out of my body. I know it sounds very strange, but I saw that. Laying there, I saw a light coming out of my body. And it was very, very strange. I was scared to some degree, because I saw that. And I thought, no way, this shit can't be true. And I was skeptical. Beside, I'm a very kind of a religious person. So I believe in God and that's it. And these things, witchcraft, something is happening. Anyway, and so a light or energy of some sort literally came out through my body as I lay there. And somehow this heaviness.
Can I interrupt for 1 second? You never told me that.
No, I did. You just
Do you know
don't
what I never
remember.
told you? I felt this light and lightness coming right out from me, which, okay, made me cry while I was there.
I did cry too.
It was, I never knew. You never told me that part.
I seen it. It was a light, or she explained it to me because I asked her what
Yes.
it is. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna get to that part. I what I'm explaining is that I'm laying there. This light I'm seeing coming up, rising like literally through my body, and immediately that heaviness I felt was lifted. I felt lighter. I felt balanced, and whatever it is was released that was blocking me was gone. And I broke crying. Really, really crying. And she kept on saying to me, you are worthy. You are a beautiful person inside and out. You matter. And you're safe and you're well and all is well in your life. She kept on saying that. And that was it. So she asked me, what did you feel? What did you know? And I said, they were like a light or something came out. It freaked me out. Is that normal? Like, what is that? Do you know? She said, that is energy. That was the negative energy. So the treatment is designed to balance the heart chakra, melt away tension, pain, and inflammation. And that what it was. I'm still skeptical, but again, I was there. So that is what I saw, and that is what it did to me. After we finished and we left, and I'm just going to go fast forward quickly on this part, is that for whatever reason, for weeks, I felt this very strange, subdued calmness inside me. When I went back to work, nothing stress at work could actually move me. It was very strange. I was very mellow and subdued it lasted, I would say, 2 weeks after we left. I wish I can go back there, and I will, because I enjoyed it very much. Not the vegan and all those sort of stuff, the restrictive part of things, but you have to go through that to get to the cleansing and yes. all that. And because it gives you that all of the toxic we take from alcohol, caffeine, and everything else that puts our tension, body, and energy, they clear that. You have to cleanse and clear that out. That's where you get the clarity. That's the whole experience about the well-being.
I feel the need to actually say, Grill Springs is not sponsoring this in any way, shape, or form. We're really describing the experience we had there It was relationship changing, but we'll get to that in a way.
So this experience helped me get clarity on few things. My childhood burden and trauma, my marriage, because I was just thinking of running away from it and giving up and not fighting for it. But this proved to me otherwise, because if I could get over the trauma and the burden of the childhood after all those years, then there is definitely room to work in our marriage and make it better. It's a work in progress. Marriages are not meant to be perfect, but you grow together. And my husband is my best friend, my everything, my fan. He's seen me through ups and downs and growth period and challenges, and I don't think I would be the person I am today without him on my corner.
Well, I'd have to agree 100%.
And it taught, and also this experience taught me stuff about myself. That was the first time was the inner working focus on onward. The first time it kind of led me to the inner working and focusing onward and getting...
You mean inward?
Yeah, inward.
Inward, okay.
Inward.
Yeah.
About what I want to work and achieve for myself. I found forgiveness for myself. I chose to forgive myself regarding any wrongdoing that took place in my marriage, and release that anger and resentment and move on and stop looking back. I knew that if we gonna go forward, I can't keep looking in the past and all the things, that was done. So I gotta let go of that. I have to start a new chapter. I really have to stop resenting, and because resentment is stopping me from going forward in it, and kind of want to call it a quit.
And it's not easy, for the record.
No,
It was a struggle.
no, it's not easy, because I learned all of those during that experience. But after I left, I knew that I have a long road ahead of me, and I need to work on that. It's not gonna come just with one experience, one getaway. It gave me a baseline, and now I had to nurture and start working on that practice.
Yep.
And so ever since that experience, I felt something different in me. I have been mindfully engaging in practices that help support my mental clarity and feed my soul, like my meditation practice and listening and reading books that are feeding my soul and helping me, and not necessarily help self books, but more of like the personal growth. And I went on a whole kind of a journey in working inside and outside, so I can balance the personal aspects of life and the professional aspects of life, because they do affect the two. They totally do. And I had to find fulfillment and meaning and satisfaction by working on myself. And then lastly, it was the nail on the head that led me to open about my childhood and teenage years and my relationship, to help others by writing my personal story in a book called Love, Faith, and Mercy, Letting Go and Leaning into Pain, about my life struggles, the realities of my upbringing, growing up, and my personal transformation. I would never have thought I could be brave enough actually to have my heart broken open in a vulnerable way to random strangers in a book, and share all in a raw, emotional, and real way, letting go of any judgment that my story could bring to my life.
Okay. I'm assuming this is the part where I have to try to share something.
Yeah. Your experience.
I don't have an experience. I can talk about this because
you were there.
I'm kind of still on my broken road, maybe.
Sure.
Broken open road.
Yeah.
If you want to call it.
Transformation takes time. It's ugly, dark, and takes time.
Well,
but you get there.
Not the prettiest thing in the world. But I didn't want to go to this spa, I'll tell you. I did not want to at the beginning. But as you probably found out from a couple other podcasts, somehow the universe talks to me, and I have no choice but to listen. And the only thing that said inside of me was, you need to go. And I went. The Reiki thing, like you, it kind of shook me quite a bit. Never experienced anything like that before. It was not easy. I walked in there very angry. And I don't know why. Just really angry. Not a cranky person.
No, but at the time too,
inside there was frustration and anger.
Yeah.
And we were going through marriage difficulties.
Plus, you lost your job.
And lost the job. Worried about mortgage, everything else.
Providing and all that. Yeah.
So was not in a good frame of mind. That Reiki experience plus the whole weekend. There was a calmness in there. There was the ability to free my head. And I'm not that kind of person that goes for that stuff, but it changed. It changed my life. It changed to me right after going to that Grill Springs there. I noticed right away it changed how we used to fight. And what I learned was that between the two of us, we actually learned to argue better without even realizing it. Because it went from, well, when you fight with your spouse, your partner, you do. The digs are there. Everything is there. Just the way you guys are arguing, left, right, and center.
You don't fight fair. I remember you used to tell me.
You don't, man. You would go right for the attack, right for the jugular. But we both did. What I learned after there, when we would argue, and it was slow at the beginning. It did not change overnight. It was slow. But we went from using less destructive words toward each other. Well, and I'm almost done. We used less destructive words toward each other, but we used more, this is how I feel. This is how you make me feel right now. This is what I'm going through. So it was less destructive, but it was more explanatory. Like, I'm explaining to you how I'm feeling, why I'm feeling this way, so that the response was not even another destructive attack. It was more of a, holy shit, okay, you know what? I think I'm going through that myself. So why our arguments ended up turning into problem solving, and today, well, we still argue. We're married. That's what we do. We have great times. We have not so great times.
We banter a lot.
But the not so great times are actually a lot less, and we overcome them very quick because we share how each other feels, rather than be all contained and boiling.
Here's what I want to say from my perspective.
Okay, I'm hoping you felt the same way on that. Would be
from
good to
my
get some
perspective,
feedback.
So wait a minute here. In terms of the Reiki experience, this is not a magic bullet or anything like that.
No.
The treatment is designed to balance the chakra of the heart, which is, like I said, melt away tension, which what we were feeling both. They were pain. When we say pain, there is inside pain that we both were feeling. Some things at different level for Dan and different level for me, because I have a combination of other things that I was dealing with at the same time. And the inflammation, which is basically body aches and chronic pain, back pain, whatever you want to call it. The point is it just brings back, it balances the energies.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all it does. So because our energy was completely out of tune, and we did this, and it reset it. So when it reset,
that's the word I'm looking. It reset our marriage and our.
That's it, because
how we communicated.
Yes, we needed to reset, and when we reset, we got the clarity. We also were taken away from all distractions.
Yes.
No TV, no alcohol, no numbing, no alcohol numbing and escaping TV. Tuning out all the noise of the daily life.
First time away from our son for
completely, because we don't leave our son. We rarely. He's always with us. We take him places with us. We just don't. We're not the type of people like. Especially me, I feel guilty all the time. We don't dump him off
or pawn him off or anything like that. We're just like normal parents.
Yeah, I don't want to leave him with a babysitter or with my mom. Yep. I kind of just always kind of giving into the fact if he can't come with us, then we can't go. But we had to make the decision we really need to go. Like, I was convinced.
We had to be selfish.
On this part. Because if we want to work out things, we really have to give time to each other, because we'd always given time to our son.
And that's the most important part, is you both have to work it out. You both have to want to work it out. So
I have to say, what changed me is that I needed to find forgiveness for myself. Because I wasn't forgiving myself, I was resentful and unforgiving towards my husband. Forgiveness for myself, so I can extend it to others. And in this case, I needed to extend it to my husband. And then that led to compassion and self-kindness. I needed to be kind to myself, accepting of myself. I do a lot of work in this area, because I lived it, I experienced it, and I needed to work through it all. So my blogs, my books speak about it. This podcast is one of the reasons why we're sharing this, a spotlight on broken open. There is no shame in being broken open.
No.
And
I mean, not that I want to interrupt again.
No.
But I still do think about the times before we went there. And, but I don't look at them with the same anger, the same resentment or anything like that.
I look at it breakthrough for both of us, to be honest.
That's why I keep saying failure's a teacher.
Yeah. I have changed ever since I went in that place. Huge. I literally needed to forgive myself. There were some things I needed to find forgiveness in my heart for.
Mm-hmm.
Because I couldn't move forward. It's huge for me. It's a big deal. If I didn't do this, I guarantee you that we would not be here today.
Oh, absolutely.
So to really conclude this, I was filled with pride and joy in how far I have come to gain clarity and understanding of myself, and most importantly, learning to forgive myself and letting go. That was huge. Not easy, I can tell you that, but necessary for peace of mind. We will be broken down, defeated, or broken open and transformed. Regardless of the outcome, this is life's journey. As many ordinary people who have risen from the ashes of illness, divorce, loss of job or loved one, stronger, wiser, more in touch with their purpose and passion, with newfound wisdom and clarity for the future. So, thank you for joining us on this episode. We really hope you enjoyed this raw sharing of emotions and feelings. I hope you enjoyed listening. Until next time, you are worthy, loved, forgiven, and transformed. Back to you, Dan.
Well, thanks, Amal. And thank you all for joining us here at Distracted by Life. This podcast today hits home pretty deep. It's all about learning from difficult times and how we choose to look at them, to be honest, how we deal with them, how we move forward in a way that's positive for yourself, and in our case here personally, for each other. It's not the easy things that make us who we are, It's the struggles, the challenges, and most importantly, how we recover from them that define us. With that said, stay tuned for our next episode from Amal and myself. Thanks again, and talk to you soon.